Hello, people, and welcome to episode 3 of Get Real with Adura. Thank you so much for your feedback on the first 2 episodes. There's still time for you to share with your friends, to comment, and to let me know if you have questions and suggestions on what I should talk about with my next guests. Today, I have someone that's very special to me. Yes, I know my first 2 guests were special to me as well, but Fola is very special to me. In fact, I'm going to call her Omo Fola. I'm not sure how long I'll stick to that. But yes, Omo Fola is my third guest. Fola, I met her about no more than 2 years ago, really. I think it was during that whole COVID time when, yes, exactly when I met her. And I met her through the ministry I work in. We got to know each other a lot. Well, believe it or not, because she's her generation, there's a generation gap. But I really, I've learned so much from her because I remember that, I'm not talking about generation gaps now, but I just wanted to share this before I call her, is I told her that because of how she thinks and the way she rationalizes things and all of that, I feel like it's extreme, but I told her that I learn a lot from her because it helps me to see things from a different perspective, especially as someone who has spent so much time, stressing themselves out over the smallest of things. And then to see someone that is just like, look, if it's done, it's done. If it's not, life goes on. I really learned a lot from her. But yeah, Fola is very dear to me. And I'm really happy that she's agreed to be my third guest on Get Real with Adura. So Omo Fola, can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, Adura is very special to me too. My name is Omo Fola Olowu. I am 27 years old. So, and we always have this little argument or back and forth about if I'm Gen Z or millennial. I believe I'm a millennial, but we'll leave that for another day. But yeah.
Yeah, so welcome. So for that, straight into the conversation, we're talking about body confidence. I want to talk to you about a couple of things because, I keep telling you that you're Gen Z and you always tell me, well, you've recently been telling me that apparently I'm not Gen Z, but whatever generation you think you are. To me, you're Gen Z, and you're like how you always say, like, when something's like, you say someone's your claim to fame. So you're my claim to being close to a Gen Z person. So I don't care what you say, you are Gen Z. And we're talking about body image. Now,
yeah,
the thing is, I remember that when I met you, because it was quite a short time. I think I didn't meet you when you were smaller than you are now, because it was around the time I met you that you had gained some weight. But I want to hear from you because when you started to share your old pictures with me, I was just thinking about how I can just imagine what you're hearing because, you were smaller and then now you share why you're bigger. I just want to know what it was like, when you gained weight, how, do you compare yourself to how you were before? Do you want to be like that again? How has this affected your confidence? Can you just tell us about how you got to your journey so far with your weight?
Okay, so I will start from when I was in secondary school. When I was in secondary school, they used to actually call me iron board because of how skinny I was. And if you think about an iron board, it's literally straight. And I believe I was a size 6. And I was a size 6 up until about A levels, where I got to like a size 8 or 10. And I think because of childhood experience, I always felt like I always felt like I wanted to add weight. My motto always in life up until recently was, I need to add weight. I need to add weight. And I eat a lot generally. So I was always on that journey, but I always had a high metabolism. So it never really showed how much I really ate. Like, I know, I think you've seen how much I eat. So,
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so I went from a size 6 to like a size 8 to 10, and I maintained that for years. And then come COVID year, I had allergies, so they put me on steroids, and little did I know the effect or impact that steroids would have on me. And I think in about 4 days I gained about 7 kg, and that was where, you know, my issues started. And at first I actually liked it, because I generally had, you know, a bigger bum, and bigger boobs, if I can be, you know, honest. And, you know, I was like, okay, this isn't bad. However, I realized that I kept on going up. So I kept on going up. And I think it really hit me when I went to London, and I went to Zara, and I tried on a size 14 in a pair of jeans, and they were mom jeans. And if you know mom jeans, they're generally bigger, you know, and they didn't fit me. No, it wasn't London. I was in Germany. Yes. Anyway, but and they didn't fit me. So I was like, what's going on? And then I got the size 16, and I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to buy these jeans because clearly something's up. But I realized that for a while I was okay, because I've always been a confident person. So moving back, rewinding a bit to when I maintained a size 6 to 10, you know, over a couple of years. I was always confident. I looked good. I think in terms of body, the only issues I've had were my legs, because I had a bit of spots on my legs. So I always, in terms of confidence, I was never really confident about that. I would always wear jeans or long outfits. You know, I wasn't on, unless I was going out at night. You know, at night, no one can really see your your legs. So I was never really confident about that. But I was always confident about my body, always confident about my face. And, you know, always confident about my face. And I think it was when I started hearing comments. So, you know, Nigerians, you know how Nigerians are. Your uncle will say, Fola, what's going on? And I'll be like, oh, I just added weight. But still, it wasn't really moving me, to be honest. I really don't care, if I'm being honest, about, you know, what people think about my size. But yeah, so I mean, the comments started piling up, and then I think when I started having a bit of issues was when I realized that the weight wasn't going down. So my weight had previously gone up before. I think I skipped that out. There was a time that I went from a size 10 to a size 14, I think, because of some hormonal issues. But within 2 months, I had lost the weight back. But during this period, fast forward to about 2 years ago, I was gaining weight and just gaining weight. So I started to get a bit worried, you know, like, okay, I can't stop eating because I love food. And I'm gaining weight and I'm not losing it. You know, previously, the past I would be eating, I wouldn't really need to go on a diet or go to the gym, but I was gaining weight and I couldn't stop eating. And I tried to go to the gym, and the gym was so hard. I wasn't losing weight as I would lose weight before, probably because of, you know, age and how, you know, our bodies change. And I remember sitting down one day and I was like, what is going on? Like, I felt like I was not in control of myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not as confident as before. I started wearing like baggier clothes, and especially because my weight is seen on my cheeks. So I started wearing like baggier clothes and, you know, not really being so confident. I would do braids and not really like how I would look, you know. And it dawned on me then, I was like, wow, this is what, you know, a lot of people go through, because I'm the biggest advocates for self-confidence. You have to look mad. You have to look good. You have to, you need to know who you are. You're a babe, you're a fine babe. Meanwhile, I wasn't in their position then. So it was all good talk, but I didn't really know how they felt. To me, it was like, you look fine, because truly they did look pretty to me, but they couldn't see. And I started to get to a place where I wasn't seeing it too. And I've always been, I know I'm a pretty girl, I know I'm fine, but I was losing that. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that's it's so many things that I want to pick apart and understand a bit more. The first part is, even I know I've had friends that, yes, they've been like you, they were always small. In fact, they used to eat a lot. I remember, in fact, for me, I wasn't a size 6, but when I was in secondary school, I remember that I think it was in SS2 or SS1 or SS2 that I even won best shape, because I've always at least had a bit. I've not been a skinny person ever, but I was small-ish, like a size 10, 12, not like a 10. And so I had my waist was smaller. That, so I remember winning best shape. I remember in secondary school as well, I used to eat a lot. And somebody actually said to me, we're walking to hostel one day. I'll never forget. I just can't remember who the person. I think it's God that's helped me to forget who said it. But someone said, keep eating the way you eat. One day it's going to start showing on you. So I'm just thinking about you now. You said you were small, and you even had nicknames because of that, and you wanted to do anything possible to gain weight, right? You had a brief stint where you were bigger, but they went back down. Then you had this whole medication thing, and then your weight went up. And people always say that people that have always been small and eat anyhow, when they get big, they don't even know what to do. Even I hear about people that they've always been small, and then they have children, and then hormones everything else goes all over the place. And because they never had to watch what they eat, then they just can't control it and they gain weight. But that was not even the issue at first. Yours was more like, oh yeah, I have curves, ooh, and that's true, but a little bit of bump, a little bit of boobs here, my waist is still a bit small. I'm looking very, very womanly. And then, like you said, you just continued your life. You didn't really think about your weight. You've always been confident. And then you went to Zara and found out that, wait a minute, what size is this that I'm wearing? And I think for me, why I find your experience interesting is because of how differently we handle things. For a long time, you were not bothered about the fact that you gained weight. Yes, you had that desire, but also it wasn't what defined you. You always knew you were pretty. You always knew you looked good. You had issues with the spots on your legs, so that was it. So for you to then now start to, yes, you're hearing what people were saying, it wasn't affecting you. People have told me that as well. Not necessarily what people say that affects them, but then they start to see little things just start to come. How come I can't, how come I'm still gaining weight? How come I'm this size now? Like I have to buy a size 16, and when people start to say these things, it really gets to you. So I think for me, my next question will be, confidence-wise, I want to know where you are now. Just tell me, and obviously you explain to me obviously how you got here later. But where are you now, confidence-wise? And what would you say if you look back and think of how your confidence was affected? What would you say you would do differently, or what advice would you give yourself then? On how to stay confident even in the place of gaining weight? Or would you say there's a certain weight for anyone, or a certain way anyone would, like, their things about them would change that has to affect their confidence? So that's my question. I want to know.
Okay, so where I am now, I'm currently very okay with my body. And I would say I'm okay partly because I have lost some weight. Look at my cheeks.
Yep.
I would say that I am that because I partly lost some weight. And I would also say that this journey has taught me a lot. So if I look back at one lesson this has taught me, right, is discipline. Now, discipline when weight teaches you discipline, because if you want to lose weight, right, you have to be disciplined. And I
Yep.
remember, I'm not sure if you were there when I started a very strict diet. And I was on water, I was on a very strict, diet. I was cooking my food myself, doing everything, and I wasn't going to the gym. And I realized that I was healthy and I was losing weight. And it gave me confidence, because discipline has been such a hard thing for me. So to be able to stick to something for a certain amount of time was an achievement for me. So it actually brought something out of myself. But secondly, what I realized was I was losing confidence because back in the day, I was always a crop top person, tight person. If I'm a size 10, I'll probably get size 8 Topshop jeans because they're stretchy, but they'll be body hogging, So I was used to that type of dressing. So adding weight, I didn't think of I was still wearing those clothes, which then enhanced my weight and made me not look as presentable as I wanted to. Because let's say I still have the rolls, but let's say I had more rolls than I had now, I would wear a crop top and maybe high waist jeans, but you would still see, like when I sit down, you would see that bulge, right? What I then started to look at was dressing differently, dressing to fit my body size. And I think that was a game changer, because I then realized, for example, not always wearing baggy clothes, but wearing clothes that fit my size made me I was like, I remember when I went shopping and I was like, I'm actually looking so good, and I hadn't lost any weight, but I had changed how I dressed. So, I mean, I would say that was a big lesson also for me, just understanding my new body type, because we are women. And I think for women, our body sizes change at every different stage of our lives. Hormonal, when we're on our periods, we feel bloated. When we're pregnant, we get fat. When we're not pregnant, we get slim maybe. When we're breastfeeding, our necks are black. There's so many changes. And I think what I've started to realize is I cannot, if I'm going to base my confidence on my body size, I'm going to always have an issue. And don't get me wrong, I remember this time, this is just a story. It was my uncle's birthday, and I actually wore like a baggy long dress, and someone came up to me and they were like, Fola, what happened? You used to look so good. And I'll never forget, I went into the bathroom and I wailed. And Omofola does not cry. I mean, I wailed, and I was just like, because he was basically saying, you don't look good. Because he said, you used to look so good. He did not say, oh, Fola.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I remember thinking, my cousin and my sister came into the bathroom and they were like, you're such a a random man. So funny enough, there was a woman in the toilet. So I think the woman, she didn't say anything to me, but I think she told her husband what happened because she overheard. And the man comes to me. This is a 60th birthday party. And he just says, I just want you to know that you're one of the most beautiful in this place. And don't let anyone speak down or tell you otherwise. And that was also a game changer for me, because not that I needed someone to boost my confidence or whatnot, but it actually made me realize that I'm actually pretty, no matter the body size. And I think that is what I'm carrying with me now. I do have tendencies to be bigger. My mom changed her size, changed tremendously when she gave birth. And I do know when I give birth, I'm probably going to add some more weight. Now, I think but I've gotten to a place where I'm in control of how I feel about my weight. So whether I am, if I want to be skinny, then I know that when I'm pregnant, I'm going to have to go ham on exercise. If I want to be chubby a bit, I'm going to own that decision. But I need to own that decision and just know where I am. And it's not easy, and I'm speaking because, as I said, I said before, I understand a little now how it feels to be on the bigger side and look at yourself and just be like, whoa. But you have to, like, when they say you have to own who you are, and find what works for you.
Yeah.
And I think I have found, and I am finding what works for me.
Oh, I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you just said to me, and that's the thing. Like, honestly, everyone I speak to, anytime I have these conversations, either the recorded ones and ones I've had just on the side, I learned something new. I like how you said now you've just said that, no matter what size I am, I've chosen just to be happy. Yes, you recognize that you're pretty, and you own that, okay, I'm pretty, and no matter what, I'm still going to be pretty. But it's even the place of being in control of how you feel about your body. Because you even said this, if, for example, you want to be skinny during your pregnancy, then you're going to have to do extra work. Or if you choose that, I'm going to enjoy my pregnancy, if I'm a bit chubby, I will enjoy that. But it's that place of, coming to this realization and to this decision that I'm just going to know that no matter what size I am happy. Because that's where when we look at confidence or lack of confidence, it really affects someone's happiness. It affects their mind. And that's what people say you cannot relate. I like what you said, because you're like, okay, fine. When you were smaller and you were talking to people that were bigger and, giving them props and everything, and they were like, you can't relate to what I'm going through. I've been through that as well, where I thought my smaller friends could never understand what I was going through. But like you said, you went to the bigger side, and like, oh, okay, I can see the kind of things that people deal with. What you said, everybody has, honestly, in this Nigeria, even people that are not even that big, they've heard that kind of thing. How can someone say to you that you used to look good? But people don't even think, honestly, they don't think it's a big deal. I'm telling you, they actually just think, well, you're just being sensitive. They're just telling you facts. You used to look you're smaller before, but you don't know how the kind of effects it can have on someone. And like you said, I know you don't cry at the randomness of things. So for you to have heard that, for someone that is naturally at least body confident, to have heard that and you end up crying, to the point that somebody overheard and went to have to told their husband, and husband came to say, you're beautiful. You can see that there's a lot that people have to go through because of their size, and it usually comes, a lot of times it comes from external factors. It's not even you. You have come to, okay, yes, I've gained weight, I'm trying to get used to it, I'm trying to lose it, whatever, and I'm there, I've accepted myself where I am, I'm going to get better, and then I'm going to lose it rather, not get better, and then next thing, someone just comes out of nowhere and gives you their opinion, and I'm sure now that if you hear that now, it's not going to be end of the, if someone tells you again, Fola, I used to be small before, what happened? I know you're probably like, oh, well, I gained weight, I'm happy. Or you can even, if you want, you can even tell them the story behind it. That's the Fola that I know.
I'll be like, it's food though. It's food.
It's food. You can even say, that, thank you. See, you even do, because sometimes you want to justify and say, yeah, I had to go on medication and I gained it. Now it's food because we see you eating, and that's the reality of it. But for me, I really, really just want to hold on to that confidence side. I know I just for that, like, we're age mates, So, but I remember sometimes I wait till there's a lot of years between us, and that generation gap as well. And for me, I think it's because obviously God has helped me, but I actually look at you Fola, and your generation, and I'm learning things. That's why I brought this generation thing. I'm not saying that everyone in your generation is body confident or whatever, but I wonder about it because some ways you deal with things. Yes, I know your personality type has a place there, but because I told you I have a couple of relatives that are like you, I don't think you guys are similar in personality type. And then the things that we see on social media about how people are like, job interview. Excuse me, you told me I told her 5. Excuse me, 501. Sorry, I'm out. I don't work on weekends. Very, very principled in a very interesting way. And then I hear people from a different generation saying that people, like I even had a meeting this week that person was literally like, with these Gen Z people, these are things are always going wrong for them. But I'm thinking, I didn't want to talk because I was moderating. But I wanted to say, actually, you know what? You have something to learn from them. If you listen to them, you see that, yes, they can be on one extreme end of the spectrum. There's a lot to learn from you, from your generation. But I think, to be honest, if you know Omofola Olowo, you know that she's very different from lots of people. So she's special in her own way. So she's special in her own, and then she's now special because she's Gen Z. So for that, my question for you here is, I'm just asking now that, do you think it has anything to do with, is there any part of how you deal with, your confidence, how you deal with situations? Do you think any of it has to do with your generation as well, at all? Or is it that people like me are just generalizing? And, I want to know, because I think that, I personally think that part of it has to do with how you people deal with things. You don't burden yourselves like maybe my generation have done, and the generation before me, which are even worse. Or am I just reading too much into it? I want you to help me. I want to hear from you about that.
So I think it's a bit of both. On one hand, I would say, yes, it probably does have something to do with our generation, because I have seen our generation, and I think I'm on the borderline. So I think I still, imbibe a bit of the millennial character or personality. But when I look at a lot of us, we just don't care, because we just have this, like, life is short, like, I beg, I don't care. But on the other hand, I see people, and I do see a confidence issue. However, right, I'm taking it back. So I'm walking you through my thought process at the moment.
Right.
However, with the people that I've seen in my generation that have confidence issues with their bodies, right, they've actually been abused. And I'm not saying 100% of them, but I would say a good number of them have been abused, either sexually
or know.
That I know,
Yeah.
either sexually or physically or, emotionally. And so I would say it's a bit of both. I do think that the older generation care a bit more about, certain appearances, whereas if you see the dressing of nowadays, whether you're a size 16, you are wearing crop top and you're showing that belly, they don't, but yeah, so I would say that it does have a bit to do with generation, the different generations, but it's not a hard and fast rule. It's not so black and white, as black and white that.
Yeah.
And again, in this generation, Instagram has come about, right? And so Instagram has come about, and what has happened is that the idea of comparison has come to play, and sometimes we don't even know it, right? I was speaking to my cousin the other day, and I was like, look at this editor, like, people are editing pictures, so you see someone and you're like, what? And then you look at yourself, and that's, again, it's not even it's a subconscious thing. You don't even know when you're comparing. But because Instagram has become such a big thing in today's society, we're seeing more of each other. Oh, so that actually works for the other way around. We're seeing more of each other. So that actually works for the other way around. So that actually, so that actually has an effect on body confidence. I guess millennials too are on Instagram, or in the Instagram world. Yes. So yeah, that's just a comment on the side.
But hold on, what am I? I always forget. What am I? Am I millennial? Okay. All right, okay. Honestly, I don't even know. I wonder if I'm like, but I actually think about some things, and I can actually see, especially for us like Nigerians, I look at the things like my aunt is like 20 years older than me, and her husband. I look at the things that don't bother them at all, and the things that really bother them. And I think of my mom, she's late now. She was like another 12 years older than my aunt. So she was like on the different, you know, like she was literally like my auntie's auntie, but she wasn't. But that's how they grew up like that way. So, you know, and I just see all these differences. And I personally think that if we're able to even, there's not as if this is a conversation about generations or anything, but if we're able to even understand people's generation and things that matter to them and don't matter to them, then we can even understand them better. Because that's Definitely. The thing about it. I've noticed that when I talk to your generation, people are just like matter of fact. If you don't like something, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. If someone has told you that you're supposed to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, then you have to, and after you've experienced a couple of times that they've said, well, sometimes they've told you money, and that's what you're being paid for, and then you now find that some days they're staying till 7, some days they're staying till 9, and they call you on Saturday at 12 p.m. or at 8 a.m. and ask you, and you're like, wait, okay, obviously I realize now that these people are confused. Let me set them straight. People are like that. And I really think that for me, because I've been that person that I just flow and just say, let me not complain. I've also even learned, like you said, I like that you said that, and this is so true. We can't generalize. My closest friend is very similar to you. She's very, very straight to the point.
She's
I like
not from your generation.
What do you say?
I said she's not from your generation.
Exactly. So she is very like you, like, I like this, I don't like, if like, and who take offense. Even me, I remember that I've taken offense many times I have, but I've gotten to, she's really helped me to understand a lot of things. Now, the reason why I brought this whole Gen Z thing, our conversation is going to end soon, I'm so sad, but it's okay, is because I really just want to know, like, you know, about how to not be so bothered, you know, and how to not be so like let your confidence not be because of how you look, you know. And I think, okay, there are different solutions. Some people say, well, the way they were raised, you know, they were always told that they were beautiful. Other people will say things like, well, they've always just known, they just, you know, have to learn. People have said different things, and you have people like me who were not confident for a long time, and then I now hear that, well, there's this generation that they're like, look, I just know I'm the, you know, the stuff, because I don't swear, you know, I just know that, you know, I just know that I'm the stuff, you know. So, and that's why I was talking to, I don't know who I was talking to, if it was Ada or Jules. I was saying that I look on Instagram, there's this celebrity that literally, this lady she's big, like she's actually quite big. I'm not even talking about her size, what she wears. She wears bikinis, she puts them on Insta. In fact, that's what she's making money from, because of her size. She's even brought out like music now. And this woman, you can tell that she's not like, like me, if you like, hit me if you want. No, she's just happy with her body. And she's happy wearing this, and that's what has attracted people to her, to advertise for them. And now she's had like a record deal, all these things. And I'm just like, wait, what am I missing? You know, when I shared before that when I was bigger, I remember that I was quite confident, but I'm just thinking that if I get bigger now, I don't know, I think I'll probably be so miserable. So I can't go, I refuse to go back to that size. But I was wondering that, why was I like that then? Was it like a rebellion thing? Like, I don't care, I'm all that? Or I think one other thing was I didn't realize how big I was until one day I saw a picture and I was like, oh my goodness, this is how big I've been for a long time. But I wanted us to have this conversation because I wanted to, you know, just get into the mind of your generation, get into your mind to see how, even with the fact that you gained weight, you know, you were still confident. Yes, you had your struggles. I'm so glad that you're, you know, open with us to share that there were times you had struggles. But what I really like is that you still said, at the end of the day, you came back to yourself, like you had like some sense knocked into you. Like, you know what, I'm still beautiful. And it's not like you're consoling yourself. It's more like, I'm beautiful. I'm going to be confident about who I am because I'm a woman and my size is going to change. I'm not being negative, but that's the reality. So I'm not going to base my happiness, my confidence on my size. There has to be something else, right? So if I ask you now, Fola, what makes you confident? Why are you confident? What will you say to me? So Is it because of what people have said about you, or is it because of something that you've discovered about yourself? As I want to know, I just want to know, like, so because I like to know why people are confident. I want to know what drives them to be confident. Why they wake up every morning and say, you know what, I'm actually amazing. I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident about how I look. I'm confident about my personality. I'm not going to change myself for anyone. I'm being stubborn, but I just know that as I am, I'm great.
I would say that people's comments or compliments play a part. I wouldn't lie about that. I remember someone was telling me, was like, look, you're 20, I think I was 26. I was like, you're 26, you own 3 businesses, calm down. And I took that compliment home and I was like, I'm 26, I own 3 businesses. Mm-hmm. I'm that, don't want to swear, but, but for me, I think I self-reflect a lot. And I think that is where my confidence has come from in the past. I can't actually give you a reason and say, this is why I'm confident. But I will say, looking back, I've always known who I was, like, in terms of, I don't think anyone had to tell me I was pretty for me to look in the mirror and say, I'm pretty. People enhanced it by giving me compliments.
But they have to confirm what you already knew.
Exactly. And I've always gone the extra mile, whether it's with what I'm wearing, whether it's, there's some days, and you've seen me, there's some days that I don't care and I look anyhow, literally. And I really don't care. Like, if I really don't care. I think it's you and some other people that started making me wear earrings and all of this type of stuff. But still, but I would say I was just okay with myself. And I think I am okay with myself. And please don't get me wrong, it doesn't negate the fact that there are some days that I sit at home, especially when it's that time of the month, and I'm just wallowing in how I haven't achieved anything and I'm ugly or whatever. But it's for that time. It's for that time. But mostly I'm okay. Like, and I think it comes with not caring. But I wouldn't say I don't care in totality. But I think it's just, whatever it is. But I can't say this is advice for everyone, because I can just imagine a lady that doesn't feel good about herself. People don't really compliment her. Guys don't really talk to her. How do you, where do you, this information I'm giving won't really benefit that person. So I will still go back to my comment of, I've just been okay with myself. Like, I'm the type of girl that takes myself out for lunch sometimes. And when I was in London, I used to go and watch movies alone. I used to go to Nando's alone.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think that's built me up. I'm also a hype man. So I hype every situation. I exaggerate every situation, apparently. But I've been able to just always make myself feel good about myself. I don't know if I've answered the question.
You have. I'm asking this again because I know, because I think about my own struggles, and I know people who talk to me a lot, based on work I do in ministry and just from people I have conversations with. I know the struggles that people have. I know some people really want to be confident, but they can't be confident because they find a lot of things to be self-conscious about, to say that they're not good enough. They don't even mean to, but that's how they are. So even having conversations, go ahead.
Oh, and let me use my legs as an example. I would never forget, I used to have black spots everywhere. I know you've been with me through a bit of it. But I used to have black spots everywhere. And I remember, and sometimes it takes finding someone in your situation to kind of boost you up. You don't need to know that person personally. But I remember I saw someone who was, she's into fashion. She's, quite she has a reputation in Nigeria. And she wears short skirts, and her legs she has black spots, you know. But she wears her outfits like that. And I remember that was when I was just like, if you're going to worry about every part of your body, I mean, if I really want to break it down, I have my legs have black spots, you know, my fingers are fat, my no, being serious. I have some people say I have a forehead. You know, I have cellulite. I have stretch marks from adding weight and losing weight. How many things, you know, do you really want to?
Really, you can
want
actually, you can actually start. You can start and you will not finish. If you start by picking yourself apart, you'll see so many things that are not perfect. And then you just lose all confidence. So what I'm getting from you, Fola, is a place of, first of all, just, you know, looking at, as in you recognize yourself, the great things about yourself. Yes, hearing from other people helped, you know, as well. Like it helped to like confirm what you already knew, but definitely you already knew how great you were, you know. And then, you know how some people will say, maybe, I also hear from people that say that their parents spoke to them a certain way, but I also know some people that it wasn't about their parents, it's just that they just knew. And that's what I'm hearing from you. But even in the place of knowing that, okay, you are this amazing person, it's still possible for things to knock your confidence. And you've also learned that because, yes, you've had some issues, like you said, like, for example, your legs, even when you started to hear comments about your weight, you've had to come to this decision that, you know what, I'm not going to be focused on, you know, I can't start saying because of my legs I'm not going to do this, because of my this, because if not, there are many things, like even me too, I can start, if I start from here, in fact, people will even think I'm mad if I start, because you end up finding things that people don't even see, you know. Yeah. So that you have to kind of, no, it's not as if you're saying that you are not the person in your body, or your body is not yours, but you have to come to a place of just being confident about who you are as a person. And some people will say that that's a cop-out, because they'll say that for those people that maybe they don't have everything, they can say, I'm not my hair, I'm not my body, you know. But I really believe that actually it is true that we are not our body, we are not our hair. And I think it was Ada that was saying it in Adara, the first episode. She said that for her, she realized that she's getting older. So she didn't mean this in a bad way, like by saying like, oh, best days are, she didn't say her best days are behind. That's not how she said it. But if you listen to it with the wrong mindset, you think that she's trying to say that your best days are behind you, so now you just have to just manage as the days come by. What she was trying to say was that, look, I'm getting older. Hey, I have to love myself the way I am now, because I'm not going to be the person I was 10 years ago. I have to keep moving ahead. So I think if I'm picking from all of you, there are different ways, like even Jules as well, she just said for her, she just said, look, I'm just amazing. You know, I'm not going to think too much about it. I've chosen, I know I do have flaws. I know I do have problems and all of those things. But at the same time, I'm still going to know that I'm a great person. And you have told me as well that for you, you just chosen that. Well, first of all, you recognize this, you know. Some people might say, that person is conceited. But guess what? I've the people that I used to label conceited before, I'm like, I've learned from them. I want to be like, I want to, you know, just appreciate myself for the way I am, you know. When anything else for me, for that, because I know we've gone a bit longer than I planned, but I realized that these meetings are always going to be like about 50 minutes. So I've just moved on. But do you have anything else for me before we just start to round up? And I'll talk more about what you do.
I will just say that it's not that serious. You tend to notice things on other people that you're not confident about in yourself. So for example, I don't notice people's teeth because I really like my teeth, but other people notice people's teeth because they don't really like their teeth, you know. But what I would say is a lot of the time, people don't even notice what we're noticing about ourselves. You know, don't give people the benefit or the time, you know, to talk about you or to give you an opinion of yourself. You know yourself, understand your body, and own it. And if it means confessing, if it means saying, you know, I am beautiful, screaming it, shouting it, scream it till you believe it, because they say, you know, when you lie, the more times you lie, you believe that lie. So if you need to lie to get there, then by all means, yeah, you know.
I love that. So I like what you just said, for like, it is not that serious. Ah, man. You know, just saying that it is not that serious for me. I wish I could explain how liberating that is for someone like me. You know, some of you are listening and thinking, of course, it's not that serious. Some other people are saying it is that serious. But honestly, I'm telling you that for me, it's actually said something to me. Why be so stressed out about how I look all the time? I know, yes, I'm in the fitness industry, so people expect me to, you know, look like I'm in shape all the time. But you know, the times I've even thought I've gained, maybe I've gained like a couple of inches on my waist. Some people cannot even see it. In fact, the time that I actually gained like 1 inch, maybe like it was only like 2, I remember. And the clients of mine saw me, I was like, oh, Adura, it looks like you've lost weight. And I'm thinking, is she okay? I have not lost weight. I've been to, I didn't tell her, but that's how I was thinking that, what are you talking about? And she meant it.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you're there just being so hard on yourself, taking things too seriously. Meanwhile, nobody's noticing. And you're sometimes even thinking that, what are people thinking? When you shouldn't be thinking that. You should just be focused on just living your best life. My cousin, who is from a generation, that's the person I heard this first from. I'm just living my best life. And I thought, oh, what kind of thing? What do you mean living your best life? But as she said it more, I was like, actually, yeah, I'm going to live my best life too. But honestly, I do get it. Just enjoy your life. It's not that serious. Live your best life. Enjoy. Be confident wherever you find yourself. I know that your confidence goes, and you are more than how you look, right? Anything else? Like, I'm going to advertise all your businesses now. So just to tell us one more thing.
One more thing. People actually don't pay attention. So I think it just goes back to, you know, it's not that serious. Like, you go out, and I think people can see my legs even though it's dark. I remember the other day my toes weren't painted, or, you know, it was a bit chipped, and I was like, oh, can you notice? I was like, she didn't even, you were like, you didn't even notice till I told you.
I didn't even say anything. I was like, what's she talking about? I was like, should I change my shoes? I'm wearing open toe shoes now. Should I wear covered shoes? I'm like, what's this one talking about? This was dark. Looking at her feet. But you know, you see those things because it's your body. I haven't had another experience to share. My aunt was, I was my aunt and my uncle one day. I think my aunt just had, like, you know, I just have like some random stray hairs. And I think it was a gray hair. She was trying to pluck it out. And my uncle was like, what are you doing in Yoruba? Like, what are you doing? He said, no, I have to remove this. He said that there's nothing that cannot see anything. He said, no. After she even plucked out the little hair, she now showed it to me. I said, see, like, I can't see it. In fact, he didn't want to look at it because he thought, which hair is this man talking about? But for her, she could see it, and we ended up talking about it. I said, yeah, you will see that extra stray hair somewhere. You see where there's a bit of a, maybe you can say, I lost a couple of eyelashes here. This eye is a bit wonky. This one, I've gained this much. Oh, there's a bit of back fat. You know, when I'm wearing my bra, I can see there's a bit of back fat. Or when I sit down, there's an extra roll, and the roll is bigger than it was 2 weeks ago. You know, we pick all these things, and then we don't realize that it's really us that we notice these things. So for me, another thing I'm picking up from our conversation is, what am I even living for? Like, is it about people's opinions? What is making me not confident? Is it about people's opinions or my own opinion of myself? Because I think sometimes the project can say, I care what people think, but actually I'm starting to see that I care what I think. And because I think this about myself, that's why I think the other people are thinking like that about me. And sometimes they don't even see it at all, right? For that, you have been a pleasure. You know, I'm definitely going to call you back. You know, and I know I'm going to have like conversations with multiple women at the same time. In fact, men and women. I'm definitely going to. I love your opinions on things, but I love that Fola has reminded me that, look, it's not that serious. Choose to be confident. See that you are wonderful, and even if you have these setbacks, you have to just remember that it's not serious. It's not about people who don't notice these things. Live your best life. I'm taking that from my cousin. I know I'm sure that's what Fola believes as well. Fola is, like she said, she has 3 businesses. I'm going to share the links in the description box. Also, I'll put them on the screen. She has Ashalewa Official. She has Adura Lagos, and she also has Party Land. And she's a party planner, Ashwe B connoisseur. And she also has a clothing brand, and she's actually a very wonderful person. She's a lover of God, and she's just discovering herself more and more in Christ. And it's such a pleasure to see, where she's going. Because just this morning, I was in a different prayer meeting, and she was sending me a link to another prayer meeting. So, and it's like 5 a.m. in the morning, So yeah, she's good. She's really loving her relationship with God. She's a wonderful person, and definitely follow her. She even has a personal Instagram page as well. Follow her. She's a very interesting person. But also, I know that I have learned so much from you, Fola. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I know we've had a few reschedules, but I'm so happy that you finally had time. We had time to have this conversation, and I just want to thank you especially. And I know that you're going from grace to grace, glory to glory, and you're going bigger, 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 bigger. And I can't wait to celebrate so many milestones with you. Thank you so much, Fola.
Thank you so much, and well done, and congratulations, because this vlog is a vlog, right?
Well, it's more like a video conversation. Some people have said I should just label it a podcast. I'm like, look, let's just call it a series for now.
Series. Series is going, and it is changing lives and healing lives. So. Yes. Well done, and congratulations.
Thanks so much, my darling girl. Okay, let's just say bye to everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for that. Bye.